What's going on? Costa here with part 3 of my build analysis video for Nioh 2. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to apologize to you all for the long gap between episodes 2 and 3. Kind of got sidetracked with other video games, but that's neither here nor there. I'm back to finish this series because I feel like it's a very good refresher for veterans of the game and for folks who are new to the Nioh universe. I believe that this is going to be a good place to get, good reference point for some, basic information. Okay, so with all that being said, episode 3, we're going to be talking about armor. The first episode we talked about core stats. Episode 2 consisted of information regarding weapons, and on today's episode, as I mentioned, we are going to talk about armor. Armor in Nioh 2 can be broken down into 3 different categories. Light armor sacrifices defense for agility. With having high agility, you have more opportunities to dodge enemy attacks. In addition to that, your ki consumption is very, very low as well. So that gives you more opportunities to attack, to dodge, and to dash as well. Medium armor, I'd like to consider the jack of all trades, master of none. Essentially, you're going to have a good balance between your defense, your agility, your toughness, and your ki consumption. As I mentioned, you're not going to excel in any one particular aspect when you're using medium armor, but it's still, but the balance in and of itself is still good enough to get you through most of the game. If light armor is on one side of the spectrum, then heavy armor is going to be on the other end. Heavy armor sacrifices agility for defense. Now, what that means as far as gameplay is concerned, you're able to avoid being staggered and you don't take as much ki damage when you're being attacked by enemies. But on the flip side of that, you're not as agile, so you're not able to dodge as many attacks. And in addition to that, whenever you do decide to dodge or whenever you are attacking an enemy, unfortunately, you are going to consume more ki because you are using a heavier armor. Now, how all that translates into gameplay, it comes down to personal preference. Me, I love light armor. I love the fact that I'm able to just bounce around between enemies. I love the fact that I'm able to just dash almost endlessly. My ki recovery is pretty high too when using light armor. That's another thing I forgot to mention as well. Ki recovery, depending on your armor, is affected depending on how heavy your armor is. Obviously, the heavier your armor, the longer it takes for your ki to recover. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. One more thing I almost forgot to mention is ultimate stamina. If you have 150 points or higher in your stamina, you unlock AA agility and AA toughness. First and foremost, in order to gain access to either or, you need to have your agility, your weight, equipment weight below 19%, if I'm not mistaken. Some people say 20. If I remember correctly, it's 19%. You got to have it below 19% in order to have access to AA agility. As far as toughness is concerned, you got to have your toughness over 350. I want to say over 400, but I'm pretty sure it's over 350. You have it over 350, you have access to AA toughness. Now, I haven't seen a build where you were able to have both of these on there, because in order to have 19% equipment weight, it means you literally have to wear the lightest armor possible and not what's this thing in the forge real quick, and not remodel it at all. Like, just don't remodel it at all. And then if you're using light armor, you get almost no toughness. And outside of using advanced mode and allocating the total toughness 30% a bunch of times in your gear, there's no way to see 350 toughness on light armor. So, like I said, if you got any ideas on how to make that happen, by all means let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, we've come to the end of the video. As I kind of figured this video wasn't going to be super duper long. In terms of in-depth analysis, the armor is pretty straightforward. It's not a lot that goes into it, as far as like which one you decide. You know, honestly, the hardest part is just deciding which armor you want to use. Honestly, I feel like that's the most difficult part. Once you've decided that you want to either use light, medium, or heavy, or a combination of the three, or a combination of the two, whatever works for you, you know, it's pretty much goes, you know, it pretty much comes down to, you know, what kind of accessories you use, weapons, and so on and so forth. Like those decisions honestly are more important than the kind of armor that you use. Again, I'm not trying to say that armor isn't important, but in the totem pole of, you know, priorities, armor unfortunately is only there for the special effects. That's honestly what you focus on when you're deciding what armor to use, is, you know, what kind of special effects you can get on your armor. So with all that being said, if you all have any questions, comments, or concerns, y'all already know what to do. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Casa out.